violated Naira redesign procedure, ex-CBN chief testifies. PDP NWC splits over internal crisis. Ayedatiwa sacks aid over alleged 30 million naira bribe and others probe. Confusion as Senate insists on full local government autonomy. And lastly, Edo, thugs disrupt PDP inspection of beavers as INEC shifts inspection of materials.
And here we have the Daily Trust newspaper. First on the headline here says, NLC demands petrol price hike reversal. Now the writer to that story says FG denies involvement as NNPCL adjusts costs above 1,000 naira per litre. Okay, here again we have it's unbearable. Citizens, new price unfavorable to us. This is by Man. And at the top here we have PDP crisis. Party leaders clash over Atiku Wike. By the side here we have bandits kill 11, adopt others in Katsina communities. That's on insecurity. Okay, next newspaper please, Pepe.
All right, it is the Daily Times newspaper, and the major story here says local government autonomy. Comply with a Supreme Court verdict, Senate tells governors. Warns governors not to tamper with allocations to 774 councils. NAS will alter any aspect of our constitution to ensure full autonomy for local government administration. This one is coming from Akpabio. Now at the top strip of the newspaper, it says NLC condemns fuel price hike, calls for immediate reversal. Again, Matawale visits Sokoto seeking means to curb banditry and kidnapping. IGP urges collective efforts to address cyber security threat. Federal government targets 60% in value addition of Nigeria's raw materials. And at the bottom strip it says nationwide chaos erupts as fuel price surge cripples transport and triggers soaring fares. And lastly, state governments pledge speedy implementation of SABS.
All right, let's get back to the studio. All right, you've heard it from us, all those screaming topics on the newspaper, but we're not here alone. Today we'll be dissecting these issues with our paper analyst and person of Mr. Boni Akeze. You're welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir. Thank you.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
How is Nigeria treating you?
We're out here.
All right, okay. Let's quickly dive in. Now, NNPCL sells petrol at 998 naira per litre in Lagos and 1,030 naira in FCT. Now, the second price increase by the company within 6 weeks has thrown motorists into panic buying mode across the country. Now, retail outlets owned by Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPL, adjust the pump price of petrol on Wednesday in Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Abuja. And I am wondering what is truly happening. You know what? Yesterday, I got into a filling station. I actually saw them selling fuel for a vehicle. So I was saying, let me turn and go and buy fuel. By the time I got to that place, they said they had stopped selling. So I drove off, I parked, and after some time, a boy came and said, my guy is calling you. It means they had fuel. And I bought for the new price. And this is affecting a lot of persons in Nigeria. Let's not even talk about those who board transportation. These days, the price you enter this afternoon might not be the price you will enter in the evening. And the government has promised us a soft landing. But I'm wondering, what's going on? What is this the plan?
Okay, very good. You see, this conversation over fuel pump price has been on for a long time. And I think we are here, where we are here today because immediately APC government took over power. It showed they took power and began to run Nigeria like a one-party state because they have not faced any organized and effective opposition. When they were in opposition, you remember the June 12th, January 12th, January 2012 uprising in Nigeria, Occupy Nigeria. Occupy Nigeria was over the administration of then President Jonathan to increase fuel pump price and to remove fuel subsidy. As at that time, we were talking about from 62 naira to 90 something naira. This President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, he led organized resistance against it. You know, yeah, people will say, yeah, but that is the job, that is the work, part of the work of opposition. They were able to make the government to shift ground, whether for good or for bad. The important thing is that they played that role. Today, this government dishes anything it likes to the Nigerian people. People will only agonize, people will only complain. There is no, they have not faced any organized resistance or democratically managed, that's a democratic platform. The citizens want to do protests, they were able to scuttle it, sabotage it. The opposition parties did not even participate in that protest. Either they don't believe in it, or they were not even organized. So this government has continued, and then when the fuel pump price thing, when the APC came, when they increased to 145, they told us that was going to be the highest fuel pump. So they are going to fix refineries, they are going to do all that. So they know they can tell Nigerians anything and get away with it. We have not seen the last. You will see it. We have not seen the last.
But where do we go from here? What's the true solution? Because right now, people are going through a lot. And you get to some other filling stations. Now, any filling station is selling at whatever cost that they want to sell. What is the lasting solution right now?
You see, we cannot be here. We cannot be here and say this is the solution. It is all about mismanagement of the economy. So the government needs to know, the government in power needs to know that election has ended, that governance should take the front seat. And governance means policies. They have to look at policies that work. They have to bring on board people. You must, in fact, it must not be only the people who subscribe to your political party. You can involve other people, other national stakeholders, and say, how do we get out of this kind of quagmire in which we are in today? As long as Nigerian economy is dollarized, there is nothing other. As long as the dollar is competing with the naira side by side as a legal tender in Nigeria, forget it. We are not going anywhere.
But right now.
So you said solution. The first solution is anything that will stabilize the value of the naira. Anything that will curb depreciation, further depreciation of the naira. That is, and I think that the starting point is the dollarization. Curb the issue of the. See, the Nigerian elites. Even you go to Kenya, you see people. In fact, have you ever seen the owners, the country where the dollar is their legal tender? Have you ever seen them spraying it on location? But they spray dollar in Nigeria.
And that's the money they
And
spend
it
about.
and it is a status symbol
Yes.
to spend in dollar.
Well, right now, the federal
Where is it done?
The federal
That you have 2 legal tenders
in one country.
Where is it done?
Okay. Well, right now, the federal government are even denying involvement as to this NNPCL adjustment to above 1,000
What has this
per
government
litre.
what has this government ever accepted?
My question right now is it that the NNPCL are operating as a different entity, not taking orders from the federal government? Because that's the import now of this statement.
So your guess is as good as mine. So that is why who appointed, to whom is the NNPC CMD answerable?
To the government.
I beg. Who is the Minister for Petroleum Resources? Who is the NNPC is a commercial entity, but it's owned by somebody. It's owned by another. Who is that entity that owns NNPC? Is it not federal government of Nigeria?
It is.
Okay, now this one says Tinubu government borrowed 8.45 billion from West African Bank. I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on that?
But I don't have the details.
Okay.
There is not a crime for a government to borrow. So borrowing for what?
Okay.
Is the borrowing justified, and what is the justification?
Yes.
So if we have all the background to this, we'll be able, so we can't comment on it because we don't have any details on it.
Okay, innovative funding keys to sustainable aviation sector. Now the Minister for Aviation came out yesterday because I don't know if you saw that video that was trending of a lady who just came down from the aircraft that she boarded, and she had already paid for her luggage and everything, and trying to get her luggage, he asked for 5,000 naira, and that video has been everywhere on social media, and people have been saying, if you have paid for your luggage before boarding, why do you have to use 5,000 naira to retrieve the luggage when you come down? And the lady kept saying it was not she didn't do it wasn't an overload kind of situation. So we're wondering, but the minister has come out to say that new measures, first of all, he came out to say that there are other bodies who work under them. They are only the umbrella. And initiative, there's been more initiative, but this one now comes out to say innovative funding key is sustainable for aviation sector. I don't know if you've seen that video, by the way.
I didn't see the video, but innovative funding is nebulous. What does it mean? Is it addressing the woman paying at the point of collecting her luggage? Was she a lone traveler arrival at the arrival? Why was all that same 5,000 was paid by other passengers? All of us travel through the airports. I have never paid at the point of collecting.
I've never heard of it as well.
I have never paid at the point of collecting my luggage. At the boarding post, your luggage is weighed, and if it is above hand carry, they will put it, and they will tell you the amount. Then you will pay. You pay to the airlines. So the airlines are not the operators of the clearance point where you take. So I don't know. Was it only the woman that paid, or every other person who has such category of luggage?
Yes.
Has the aviation ministry come out to say, or the airport operators come to say it is a new charge, part of the new charges now to be paid by travelers. So innovative financing to this as answer to this what happened. I don't think it has answered the question.
Okay.
All right, looking at the state of security in the country now, looking at Vanguard, it says military lacks weapons and morale to defeat terrorists. Now, this one is coming from Ndume, and supporting this headline, it says gunmen attacks army camp, kills soldiers in Imo. Now, if you move to the next newspaper, Daily Trust newspaper, it says bandits kill 11. Abduct others in Katsina communities. Now, this is all bordering on security in the country. Okay. So, what is your take on that? And we've had several issues of kidnappings, killings, and the rest of them.
Yeah, it is a huge concern, and it should be a huge concern to every well-meaning citizen. This insecurity, it has festered for a long time, and only God knows. But because Senator Ndume, I think he has been, or he's still the chairman Senate Committee on Defense. Yes, he should have an insight. But for how long? For how long are we going to continue to talk about the same thing? That I saw another headline that they lack weapon, the morale is low.
Yes.
So the managers of the Nigerian security architecture, they have so much work to do, and the president himself, he has so much work to do. He has to call his security chiefs together, and because this thing is not giving the government a good image. Okay. Because the government has not shown any difference in terms of capacity to deal with the insecurity. It's like the thing. It is an issue now that has come to stay with us. That Nigerians should learn to live under this kind of insecurity, which is too bad.
Okay. All right. Let's take this story here. Emefiele violated procedure in redesign Naira. FBN deputy governor insists. Now, Adamu stated this during cross-examination by Defense Counsel Olalakan Ojo. Now, a former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Edward Adamu, on Wednesday, that was yesterday, told the Federal Capital Territory Abuja court that Godwin Emefiele, former governor of the bank, did not follow laid-down procedure in the process that led to the redesign of some notes of the Naira currency. Now, led in examination by the Council to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Rotimi Oyedepo Adamu, who is the principal witness for, also said that the redesign of the Naira note launched by former President Muhammadu Buhari and currently in circulation was not the one approved by the ex-president or the board of the CBN. Now, Adamu was testifying the suit on a 4-count charge instituted by the EFCC against Emefiele, wherein he was accused of redesigning the 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira notes of the Nigerian currency without the approval of the president and the CBN board.
Well, it is a case that is before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Yeah. So the court will take all the testimonies before it and look at who is saying the truth. It is now a case. There's the EFCC is prosecuting. Emefiele is offering his defense. So both sides will plead their case in court by providing. The court system is about weighing and examining.
Okay.
So you bring out your evidence in support of your petition, in support of your case. The defense brings also its own defense. At the end of the day, judgment will be based on the evidence before the court. So that's why the judge will always tell you by the evidence before the court. So let's. It's an interesting matter, and Nigerians should. Yes, Nigerians. So it's good that the court, the proceedings has been reported. Is not it's not the trial is not going on as a hidden this thing. So it's just for us to watch and see how everything and who's telling the truth.
Okay. All right, looking at Daily Trust newspaper, it says concerns over hurdles to mental health care in Nigeria. Now, when you also look at the Guardian newspaper, the screaming story says World Mental Health Day. Frustration, hardship sink more Nigerians into depression. Health facilities see a 200% rise in mental cases. Now, with all of these things going on in Nigeria, like no one will deny, it's kind of depressing. So, what's your take on it, on the part we need to play to help ourselves out of all of this?
When you go, I have followed, I think we have said it on this program and the previous editions, the one thing you observe in Nigeria, you see, when things are, the economy situations are tough like this, you see the country, you see the government change, the people and the top position change at least their lifestyle to reflect the situation in the country. But our own, the reverse is the case. It shows that even people who are supposed to attend to the issues, they don't seem to have that real connection, understanding of the true situation of it. Nigerians are living in penury. Nigerians are being impoverished. So the affluence and flamboyance you see displayed by people in authority, it does not reflect the reality. So I don't know where they got the authority that is reporting this rise in mental, but I think it may be the product of a study.
And today's World Mental Health Day as well.
So of course, to mark this day, yes, there must be certain studies that have come out with certain information, and so it is.
Sorry for that break. We had to fix some technical issues, but I'm so sorry as well for disrupting your thoughts. Please
no problem.
Continue.
No problem. Yeah, so I'm saying that because there is inflation, because prices has there is price volatility all over. It's of course the healthcare system will not be an exception. Yes. It's just that this is something that is hitting about of the very vulnerable segment of our population, which is, and we don't have we don't have effective social safety nets that take care of all these things.
Right. Okay, Mr. Bonny, let's quickly touch on this story. This one says Senate asks FG to declare state of emergency on girl-child protection. Now, tomorrow, the world will be marking the World Girl-Child Day. Now, the upper chamber also urged state governments to domesticate and enforce the Child Rights Act. Now, the Senate has asked the federal government to declare a state of emergency on the protection and welfare of the girl child to address the educational, health, and safety needs of girls across the country. Now, the upper chamber also urged state governments to domesticate and enforce the Girl Child Rights and the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act with a focus on eradicating harmful traditional practices like female genital mutilation. The reality about this is that female genital mutilation is still happening in a lot of places, but then there are a lot of things that need to be right with the girl child. Do you think that all this is a step in the right direction?
Why not? It is, but the issue is, most of these things, World Day for this, World Day for that, we just flow with the global current, and at the end of the day, it goes down. Everything boils down to education. Everything boils down to education. I don't see any rationale. I don't see how anybody can justify that in this 21st century you are still there is still discrimination based on gender. I can't comprehend it. Why? As far as I'm concerned, to me as a person, I have zero tolerance for that, because I don't see the basis of it. That unless things that naturally, that is by nature, because yes, we can see that there are certain things by nature that men can do and women cannot do, or women can do that men cannot do. I have never seen a pregnant man. So not to talk of a man going on maternity leave. So on the grounds of all those things, but access to education, access to employment, access to economic enhancement, and I don't see any reason why people say the woman cannot own property. Who said that? For what? A woman cannot own land. Who said so? And for what reason? So those are the aspects, and I think what will help us eradicate all those things is education. It's education, because some of all those practices are purely based on ignorance.
Okay.
So that's my take on it.
Education is key. Thank you so much. It's a good place to leave it. Okay, we've been speaking extensively with Mr. Boni Akeze. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you
for coming here.
Thank you.
Okay, don't go anywhere. And when we come back, someone very special and important is here with us in the studio. This is still Thursday's edition of Morning Ride. We'll be right back.
My people, una know say to chop plenty fruit and vegetable every time dey help person live long. You no go fit see anything when they give good nutrition when boku pass fruit and vegetable. Fruits and vegetables get plenty vitamins like vitamin A, B, C and E, and other minerals like magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, potassium and folic acid. You see, food when contain vegetables and fruit, they help lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, prevent some kind cancer, help lower cholesterol level and blood pressure, remove yamayama from your system, protect you from digestion wahala and high problem, come make your skin dey shine muke muke. E good to eat fruits and vegetable every day, and if you even get blender, you fit blend different fruit when you like together to make sweet drink when oyibo dey call smoothie. Now the Delta State Committee of Food and Nutrition and Delta State Ministry of Information now bring una this message.
That first news, that first kick, that first cry, and those first moments put baby to mother's breast right away. That first yellowish milk, colostrum, has the nutrients baby needs to grow healthy, strong, and sharp. Ask your health worker to put your baby to the breast within the first hour.
Start strong. Zero water exclusive breastfeeding for better future.
This message is from the Delta State Committee on Food and Nutrition and the Delta State Ministry of Information.
It's hot. It's something new. It's Event 360. Are you a minister of the gospel, a co-proprietor, a producer, corporate body, a financial institution, small and medium enterprise, NGO, or are you interested in owning a business of your own and running it successfully? Then join us on Event 360 every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Delta Television, channels 25, 41, and Star Times on channel 115. Event 360 is designed to showcase your social events as well as to advertise your goods, services, and ideas from Monday to Friday, with presentation on Sunday at 7 p.m. For sponsorship, event coverage, and participation, please call Tony on 0803 406 4079. Grace on 0806 974 8133. Event 360, a platform for all-round participation. Join us.
Okay, this is still Thursday's edition of Morning Ride, and it's now time for another segment. If you notice, I'm smiling differently, and it's because we have someone special with us here in the studio. It's time for our interviews corner, and we have Mr. Sammy Fejoko, an ace broadcaster and SSA to Governor Sheriff Oborewori on protocol. And today we're going to be talking the professional broadcaster functions, gains, and challenges. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Perpetua.
Welcome. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. I'm feeling just great. And, you know, when you ask me how I feel after putting in all these years in broadcasting, I recall Larry King of CNN at the age of 80 and having put in 40 years, he was asked. He said it's just beginning. So that's the same way I feel right now.
I like that. Okay, so yesterday you retired, and a lot of persons, first of all, thought it was your birthday, and some persons were wondering, he's supposed to be retiring at 60. Is he up to 60? So please explain to us what really happened there.
Okay. Yeah. No, for those who are well grounded in civil service rules,
Yes.
I'm sure they actually know very well. You know, and that's why, even though we're in the broadcast sector, this outfit is owned by the state government, and it's part of the public service under the supervision of the Ministry of Information. And for every practitioner here, it's good to actually be grounded on civil service rules.
True.
You know, so the rule actually states that when you're 60, age 60, irrespective of the fact that you had spent, you hadn't spent up to 35 years, you'll retire. It's possible at the point of entry into the service, you were like maybe 50 years old, you know, and then in 10 years you retire because you would have turned 60.
Okay.
And on the other hand, you could enter into the service maybe as a young school leaver who just finished his school certificates exam, maybe at the age of 18. There are some persons like that because you can actually come in here once you are a school cert holder. That's the minimum qualification. So you'd be coming at the age of 18, just add 35 to it.
Okay.
You retire before 60.
All right, you said you entered
At age 22.
22.
Yeah.
What was your inspiration? And the world of broadcasting is very competitive.
Yeah.
How have you managed to stay top of your game?
Yeah, at that age, those of us at that age, you tend to be very adventurous. Incidentally, my coming into broadcasting was purely by accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never thought I would be. I've always been very good in numbers. I wanted to be an accountant.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but what happened was while I was waiting for my school results to come out, JAM,
Okay.
and I met this man. He owned one of the fastest growing Chinese restaurant in Benin that time. I forgot it, Osunde, yeah, Dr. Osunde, I remember him now. Now, he met me in church. It was a night of the Catholic Church. I was the lay reader, so I'm sure that was where he heard me. And after Mass, we had some chit chats, and he said he likes my voice. If I could be running some kind of PR for him. He usually does a lot of adverts for his Chinese restaurant on BBS then.
Okay.
It was Bendel Broadcasting Service, Benin. So the PR job entailed me taking scripts and his adverts from his office to BBS premises. That was just it. That was the first time I ever came into a broadcasting house.
Wow.
I was more like an errand boy. I was just submitting advert scripts and all that. On one of those errands, one Uyi Hama, a producer of a youth forum on Bendel television then, he accosted me, and it was a chance meet. Not that he heard me speak or anything. He just felt he needed something else. He's been using familiar voices. He just said he needed something else. He said, "Can you take this script for me?" I said, "Why not?" So I went to the studio and I just read it. Because from then he said, "You're a potential. You could actually be here." I said, "I don't know." And he took me to the head of presentation then. Only Patrick Oko is retired now, over 70. And he also gave me some scripts to read. I did. And I was invited the next day to come for proper auditioning. So I came in, and then I went through the rudiments. I was giving a news script to read. I was giving a government announcement to read. Wow. And I think one obituary announcement, just like about 3 to 4 scripts. I was told to take my time to go rehearse before coming to the studio. But I said, no, it's not written in English. Why? Let's do it. So I went to the studio and I read all the 4 scripts, and I was told, okay, you hear from us. And 3 days later, precisely on the 9th of October 1989, I got my appointment letter.
9th of October.
Yeah.
Okay.
1989.
Okay.
35 years ago.
Okay, we'll come back to that, because some persons have said whenever you give Sammy a script, he's not going to do take 2, take 3. He's going to run it straight.
It started from there, yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
That's
so you started 35 years ago.
That's right.
And there's been lots of competition in the industry, from the highs and the lows and all of that. So how has it been so far? Because you don't want to tell me that it's been a smooth journey. There's been lots of obstacles and all of that. So just throw more light and give someone hope today. Yes.
For me, it's been smooth. Do you know why? Because I never really saw anyone as a competition, actually, for real. I was just having fun. Beautiful. I was just enjoying myself, And then I spent almost all my life inside the broadcasting house, whether I was on duty or not. After my shift, I was ready to take on another shift. Sometimes I even run 3 shifts, just like that. I was a bachelor, so I was not responsible to anyone but to myself, so I could get home anytime. In fact, most times after the night shift, we won't leave the studio after 12 midnight when we close. We go to the club, and after from the clubhouse, we come back to the studio the following morning, and we are still on.
So call that passion.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was just having fun.
Okay.
It was fun to me, and my seniors then they saw in me someone who could take up any shift. So they were, bombarding me with, Sammy, could you run my shift for me?
Oh.
I mean, I was enjoying it. It was not punishment for me. That was what actually, built me into what I had become over the past 35 years. So
okay.
All right.
it was just easy, smooth sail.
So basically, you're trying to tell someone out there, people listening, that you should find fun in what you do, basically, right?
Yeah, that's it. And you have to have passion for it, because if there's no passion, there's no way you do it well. At the point of entry, I don't know, a lot of people came in either by recommendation from the powers that be. It could also be that you came in maybe because you read mass communication, or maybe you read English language as a course. You could read French, anything at all. But the thing is, at the point of entry, there is either because you've been following those you've been listening to on radio or watching on television, and you've been visualizing yourself in that kind of glamour, because it's a glamorous world itself, the world of radio and television. So a lot of people came in through that. I want to be like these people. I want to be a popular person. I want people to recognize me either by listening to me or by watching me and all that. So people came in through different means. But if there's no passion, like some persons who, fine, paper qualification, wonderful. And maybe because there's no job elsewhere, and because you know someone at the top, and the person just uses his position and dumps you into the broadcasting house. Of course, there's no way you're going to do that job very well, because you were just dumped in here. It was not your intention. So there's no passion. And before you know it, you become redundant on the job, and it will be like a liability to the station, because as an on-air person, you're an ambassador. So you represent that station.
So there was no time where you had this work burnout of you wanting to have a break to rest so that you can recharge and get more functional at the job?
Yeah, why not? As time went on, definitely, and I didn't start to take my annual vacation until after I'd spent like 5 to 6 years on the job. Okay. Because like I said, I was just enjoying myself. But after that time, I started to, of course, it will start to wear down on you as well. And because you also want time for yourself, time for yourself to also socialize with people. So yeah, I looked forward to that time to also take a break and do more research, rest the brain, and recharge and come back again.
Okay, I picked something from what you said, where you said some people come in because they want to be like somebody. Now in broadcasting, when you come in, your seniors will tell you, listen to people, their presentation style. How do you manage? And then you find out that some people sound like the next person. How do you manage to carve a niche for yourself without getting an inspiration from the next person, but not necessarily sounding like the next person?
Well, yes, you can choose someone as a role model. The thing is for you to watch out or listen out to a particular person that you like, his or her style of either news reading or music program presentation. Maybe you like his or her style, and you ensure that you follow that person. You don't necessarily have need to sound like, but you could try. In trying to sound like that person, you're also creating your own identity. There's no way you can actually sound exactly like this person. You could sound like, but not exactly. Okay. You understand?
Yes.
A lot of people, I've heard people say, this person actually sounds like you on radio, on different stations. I say, why not? It's possible the person had actually been following some of my programs and all that. So, but those people have also, created their own identity, in trying to sound and trying to, all those mannerisms that the person actually has. You also try to do it. The thing is for you to, you must practice it, not just after following, listening, watching that person, do his thing in your own quiet moment when you're at home. Just play with it. That was how we grew. Okay. Most times I get home, I take a script, I read to myself. I listen to myself. Face the mirror, watch yourself the way you read. So you'll be your own first examiner, so to speak, your own judge.
Okay.
You know, so that by the time you go out there and you do your stuff, you would have actually scored yourself. You could score yourself average or above average. So if someone else comes and scores you below, you know that person is being biased somehow.
Right.
You already know that's no, I did very well.
Okay.
You know.
All right. As a bridge between the old, young crop of broadcasters, can you buttress the difference between the old broadcasters and the ones of today?
Oh yes, I was hoping that you're going to ask this. You know, when we started, we operated on purely analog.
Yes.
So that time, the challenge of operating on analog system was that you have to like do a lot of research. You go to libraries, you go to music shops to source for your musicals and all that. You write your scripts. Or like today, when they, you know, tip of your fingers, all of you are holding phones now. You know, then it wasn't like that. It's your script is what you are able to get from either research institutes, the libraries, and all that. You know, like now where you need something on something, you just Google it, and it comes out. There was no Google then. You know, Google was going to the libraries, asking questions from people, reading newspapers, reading magazines, pamphlets. Just find anything, read novels. You know, just develop passion for reading generally. Just read for the fun of it. You'll be surprised that by the time you come on air, you are blowing very hot because you had already prepared yourself. You know, so then it was more challenging, quite challenging. You do a lot more than we actually do today. You know, you can just sit in your home and you prepare your program today. You don't even need you don't need pen and paper to do anything nowadays. Everything is done, you know, with your tab,
yes,
and what have you. You know, so you guys are lucky to be operating on purely digital. We transited from analog to digital, and that transition was very difficult too, because we'd already gotten very used to it. When we started our FM station in Benin that time, they had to take us on a course, a study tour of Radio Rivers to FM. Then they had started FM station before Bendel. You know, so when ours was established, they chose about 5 of us to go to Port Harcourt to go and, you know, study how the FM broadcast was done. It was not easy to transit, but it was fun still, because you had already been acclimatized with the world of broadcasting. So transiting, though a bit challenging, it was fun and smooth sail as well.
All right. So for the past 35 years, you know, being in broadcasting, it's huge, I tell you. Yeah. So, and you have a life apart from work life, and there's this problem about trying to create a very healthy balance between personal life and work life in order to get the desired outcome, most especially when it comes to functionality at your work life. But for the past 35 years, how have you able to maintain this? And you know, you're not just a good broadcaster, you are an ace broadcaster that many people within and outside the state look up to. So how have you been able to maintain this balance, and you maintained it exceptionally well?
It's by being yourself. Simple, because there are a lot of people who come on air, they want to overtly phonetize. You know, they feel that it is when you are behind a microphone, you need to sound not like you. That's where they actually get it wrong. It is the same way I am speaking to you right now. Once once the camera is off of me and the microphone is off, I speak the same way.
True.
It's the same way. So balancing who you are on air, Sammy Fijoko on radio or television is Sammy Fijoko outside the radio and television. It's the same. You know, even when I speak Pidgin, I tend to want to even give the right pronunciation to some of the either English or Pidgin words. So it's the same. It is you in and out of the tube or the box, or as the case may be. Just be yourself. That's the key.
Yourself. Okay, do you think that the broadcast media has lost its salt due to the rise in social media, podcasts, and the likes?
No, definitely not. All of them can actually work side by side. Definitely, when we started operating here before the advent of the private radio stations, when the news made the rounds that private stations were about to come up, a lot of people started to feel, we're going to have serious competition and all that. So you tend to want to feel kind of a bit defeated. But that's because you do not believe in yourself. That's because you do not believe in yourself. So the traditional TV, radio, with the social media, the podcast that is going on,
yes,
you would definitely always have your own audience. It depends on the kind of content that you put out there. It is the content that would attract listenership or viewership. That's the way it is. So the traditional radio, TV can outweigh the social media, podcasts, and all that if the content that they have are very attractive, very enriching. The tripod that we stand on, every broadcast organization is a tripod. You entertain, you educate, and you inform.
Okay.
Once you have all your facts to inform people with, very strong facts,
Okay.
that is incontrovertible, and you dish it out, and people know that this medium actually gives correct information, you have your audience. And for entertainment, follow what is going on, what is trending at all time. You are on top of it all the time. You entertain people, they will look out for you all the time, and educating people too. People want to know about how they can cope health-wise, for example. So many things that can educate people. You also ensure that you are adequately
grounded.
Grounded,
Okay.
and equipped.
Okay. So is this the part where we focus on intentionality?
That's right.
Okay.
So in your 35 years of being a broadcaster, did you just dedicate those 35 years into strict broadcasting, or you ventured into other departments to try kind of gain experience?
You mean within the broadcast industry?
Yeah, within the broadcast industry.
I was a programs person all through. It was only after many years when we came into, but my journey started from being in Bendel. Then when Delta was created, we had to move to Warri. The reason we moved to Warri was because Asaba was not ready then. Asaba was a virgin state capital. For all the infrastructures to be put in place, it actually took time. Because we already had Warri as a relay station to Bendel, then what the government did was to say, okay, let's upgrade the facilities there so that we could do that on a temporary basis while Asaba was being worked on. And the temporary basis took like almost 10 years. You understand? And by the time Asaba was ready, the state felt, why shut down Warri? We can manage the two stations.
Both.
That's why we have the two stations right now.
Okay.
And all that. So it's just been fun all the way.
Okay.
That's just it.
Okay, so today we are discussing the gains of being a broadcaster with you as our guest.
Okay.
So in your years, in your experience, can you tell us, some of the gains of being an East broadcaster?
Yeah, you get to meet a lot of very important people. When you're in your small studio, radio studio, for example, where nobody is seeing you, it's just you and your microphone. A lot of people are listening to you. A lot. Professors are listening to you. It's possible the governor could be listening to you. The president could be listening to you. The truck pusher is also listening to you. So it's a wide range of people. People get to know you. You have your name becomes door opener. By God's grace, today you mentioned Fejok. A lot of my brothers and cousins who answer Fejok, they tell me how they get a lot of things easy just by bearing that name.
So you're the way maker.
That's it. I want to tell you, are you related to so person? Yeah, it's my brother. Oh, really? And still through. I go to the bank. I don't stay on a queue. So many places. I just go there. I just go to see the manager of the bank and I get my stuff done. So these are some of the gains. And another thing too, by being true to yourself, knowing fully well that a lot of people are listening to you. What actually, one of the greatest things that happened to me was being given a political appointment. I never, ever envisaged it was going to happen. It came purely on merit, and it came by surprise when the immediate past governor actually, through the wife, sent for me. I was sent for. I was here in GBS, and a call came. You're needed in Government House. And I met the First Lady then. She said our Oga Okoa actually would want me to work with his government. And that was it. How's that happened? No godfather, no recommendation from anybody.
No connection.
Purely on merit.
Okay, while we talk and celebrate your 35 years in office, we would also want to draw out from your wealth of experience. So my next question, what's your observation so far, and how has economic downturn affected broadcasters and broadcasting?
The broadcast industry, especially government-owned, for the fact that you're in the public service, your take-home pay, I don't think it's something that really takes you home.
It takes you to the junction.
Okay, But if you're coming into the system with the sole aim of what is going to be your take-home pay, you're not going to do that job well.
Okay.
There's no way you do it well. The pay is not fantastic. Even in the private sector, fine, they could pay a bit better, but they are almost enslaved. If you watch some of these private stations, you see the same person on a daily basis.
Recycling of same
every
person.
day. You see the person in the morning, you see him in the evening. On radio, you hear the person on this program. In the next 1 hour, that's how they use them. They almost do not have their social life. Their life is buried inside that station. That's because the employer, they want to maximize your potential, by having you in the station in the first place. The station makes a lot of money, and the only way it can make money too is your content too. Your contents are very good. Advertisers would come. They would want to put their products on your show, on any program that you churn out there. So it can actually generate a lot of revenue. I remember in Benin when we left for reader time, when Adams Oshomole was the governor, when he actually made EBS, he now changed to EBS.
Yes, Edo Broadcasting.
Yeah. He made EBS to pay back to government coffers. I think they were paying about 3 million naira monthly or thereabouts. So he said they can't just be generating revenue and they are not, putting it in government coffers. You generate and you consume, and you still want us to pay you your salaries. I think Adams Oshomole actually did it. So it was a challenge for the station, and they were meeting up. I think such a challenge might not be a bad idea, though, because that's the only way you see that you go at length to ensure that you have very, very attractive programs that will bring in those products.
Okay, that's for broadcasting.
Yeah.
Now for broadcasters, you said something that the salary might not really take us, and I said it will take us only to the junction.
Yeah.
And somebody out there will be wondering, so what makes the profession attractive?
A lot too, because if you become a household name and you've been able to groom your voice to become something that will be sought after to do documentary voiceovers, jingle voiceovers. That's like a side hustle. It's like a side hustle for you. For me, I've been able to make quite a lot of money from doing documentary voiceovers, even doing being master of ceremony. A lot of people want you to master the ceremonies, and there's no particular price tag for it. It depends on the kind of person that you are. I've been paid as much as 500,000 naira just to hold the microphone for 1 hour. It has happened. I've also done a documentary voiceover just for about 3 or 4 pages, and I was paid 250,000.
That's a beautiful brown envelope.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I've also done a lot of free ones too.
Okay.
You know,
But that was at the beginning.
yeah, you know,
Okay.
you do for friends. Even right now, I do for friends.
Okay.
You know, because yeah, you are my friend. You have something that you approach me. I'll do it for you. I don't need to charge you, for example.
Okay.
I'm also building myself by
Okay.
doing that.
Okay.
You know, because I know the big one will come. Because where I'm doing that for you, it's possible you're going to put it on an international medium. Maybe you put it on CNN or on channels. People will hear my voice.
Yeah.
So we're doing
And
it
I'm
for
global now.
You do it, I do it for free for you,
Yes.
but I've advertised my voice on that
Right.
medium.
Your
And the
brand.
next person is definitely
Somebody
going
will,
to pay you.
will say, "Who's this person's
Somebody
voice?"
will
They'll reach
indicate
you and say, "Okay, I know
interest.
the person." You will call me now.
Mm.
I say, "Yes, they are looking for you. They need your services."
Okay.
Yeah,
In this profession, what's the importance of training and retraining of broadcasters?
Very, very important. Very, very, very important. You know, and you also need to train yourself too. If the station is not buoyant enough to do that, but the station, I believe, should make that as an integral part of building the capacity of their workforce. And that's the only way you can actually, you know, bring in your potentials. That's inbuilt talents that you have. It is training that will actually bring it out. So it's very important, and it's something that should be done all the time, not once in a while, actually all the time. Even within your units, you can do that. Invite some persons.
Like an
There are
industry.
a lot of those who are even my seniors. They're just sitting down at home, you invite them. Patrick Oko is in Warri. Emmanuel Okogba, these are veterans I'm mentioning. He's in Warri as well. You know, Chukwudi Okolo is in Abuja there. Cordelia Okwe is in Lagos. You know, these are people, if you could just bring them once in a while, just give them token. They are not too expensive. They would love to do it. I would love to do it. They enjoy doing it. You know, because you're teaching, you're also learning
Yes.
in the process. You're also, you know, improving yourself. You know, so it's just very important to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sir. As we round up, please humor us. What has been your most embarrassing moment in 35 years in this world of broadcasting?
It's when the analog board fell on top of my head. You know, I told you that analog stuff. You know, graphic artists then they put board behind you, and you know, and on 2 occasions, not just once. You know, while live on air. You know, while live on air, and the thing fell on the head. That was one. And I recall another one too was when, we started to use the teleprompter for the first time. Yes, I remember. You know, teleprompter, once you put it there, and you start reading, and something just happened, and the thing went blank.
And you froze.
Of course, serious reason. The PD didn't actually get to know what was happening, so I was just like staring at the screen. I said, "If you like, put me off." You know, but it was embarrassing.
Okay.
Very, very, you know, and it could actually shake you. By the time you come back, you're already flustered. But the thing is for you to try as much as possible to pick up, because the whole world is watching, you know, and your image is at stake. The image of the station is also at stake. So when you have that at the back of your mind, just shake it off.
And maintain steeze and composure.
When you finish, you can go and cry later in the toilet.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, sir. I just have to say that we enjoyed every moment with you on this seat, and we really hope that we kept you longer, but we have to go. We're hoping that we'll see more of you.
Definitely.
And we wish you all the best in all your endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we've been speaking extensively with Mr. Samuel Fejoko, an ace broadcaster and an SSA to Governor Sheriff Oborowori on protocol, and we've been talking to him on the professional broadcaster functions, gains and challenges. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Pleasure.
Okay, Pepe, your last words.
Do to others what you want them to do to you. Nigeria is hard already. The least you can be is be kind, show kindness to those around you, basically.
show kindness, and whatever you find yourself doing, please do it with so much passion. Thank you so much for riding with us on Morning Ride. Until we'll come your way tomorrow, this is me saying thank you to everyone who made this production a success. On behalf of both staff and management, and Chizzy Awuno saying good morning and God bless Nigeria.
They burned down the city, they massacred a whole lot of people, and then they looted these artifacts.
When you rob a people of its entire cultural heritage, then you steal their soul. And then you can enslave them.
In the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
What happened hollowed out society, ripped out its heart. It was dramatic, and that wasn't even the worst that happened.